Welcome back to the Early Edge College Football Pick Show here, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. The crew is back. We are making our way through the hour, giving you our best bets, starting with some of these marquee matchups. Let's move to Florida, going to number 3 LSU. Now you can find this line around 8.5, some 7.5s out there. Over/under sitting at 54.5. It feels like a lot of the people in America want to have the comeback revenge spot for Florida, because this was around 9.5. Does anyone agree with this 8.5 here, maybe backing Florida? Mike, I'll start with you.
I do. Look, I would put the game at 7 or 7.5. At 8.5, there are just many scenarios to essentially backdoor covering or just being right there hanging around. Look, this is a big rivalry game. It's a huge game, really, for both squads, particularly the coaching staff on the side of Florida and then LSU for national title aspirations. When you look at this spot, though, it's the best environment in college football. It's Baton Rouge at night, Death Valley. It literally doesn't get better when it's a rivalry spot. I just think this thing gets a little bit more competitive. Florida is a team that's kind of easy to rag on. They've had, a tough stretch, but they've also had very difficult schedules. I think they're a little closer here, and I think LSU may be. I'm not so sure how great they are offensively and defensively, frankly, after what we saw from Clemson the last week. So give me the points here with the Gators.
Yeah, that's fair. Tom, are you going to agree with Mike here?
Yeah, listen, the two games we're talking about in this segment, I think, are two of the toughest to handicap with the number this week. Yeah, 9.5, I was a little interested. I wanted to see where the line went. It's down to 8.5. This is what I'll say. I think Florida is going to play a competitive game this week. I thought they looked awful. With all due respect to South Florida, I think Florida lost that game. And I do think you'll see a better effort from them. And I am with Mike. Like we thought, I do think Blake Baker in his second season, LSU's defense is improved, but how much improved? We might have overreacted to that week 1 game against Clemson. So I think it's going to be competitive. I'll take the 8.5.
Yeah, that's fair. They're also getting one of their best defenders back here this weekend. I will say the interesting thing about this game is that the Gators haven't won in Baton Rouge since 2016. And you're looking at Garrett Nussmeier on the screen here, favorite to win the Heisman right now. You saw Jaden Daniels and you saw Joe Burrow both have basically their Heisman securing games against Florida, which is very interesting that we find ourselves, obviously it's week 3, but in a similar situation here he could find himself in. Emory, do you think this is going to be a big Garrett Nussmeier shootout type of game?
It's fascinating to watch folks try to squint and make themselves see Heisman and first-round pick with Garrett Nussmeier. It's just phenomenal to me. Like, absolutely not, man. This LSU defense is legit. The issue is their offense, outside of their run game, struggles to find consistency throwing the football. Florida comes into this matchup with confidence of, hey, we beat these guys last year, albeit different situations. They had better receivers last year than they do this year. I'm talking about LSU. And so, yeah, the defense is better. That's why we saw that La Tech game look the way it looked last week. La Tech was the best defense in Conference USA, so that's why that offense had some issues. Offensively speaking for Florida, it's about Lagway finding his consistency. This was a game last year in which he broke out and played really well, got them the upset. So I like this going under more than anything. Welcome to the adventures of Bayou Billy. That's a Nintendo video game reference, right? But you look at what they do when they're backed up against the wall. I've seen this from Billy Napier. I have faith in him. I have faith in him getting his team ready to go. So with my Raging Cajuns, and we'll see it in this ball game with the Florida Gators. I like the under more than anything.
On the note of Garrett Nussmeier Heisman, he has 2 passing touchdowns. Like, he's not on pace. Not even
He's
a
not
little
the best
bit
quarterback
on
in
pace.
the SEC. We'll get to the best quarterback in the SEC later on in the show.
I hear you. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you have to hit that like 40 plus passing plus rushing touchdown threshold, at least 35 passing if you're Garrett Nussmeier, who doesn't really use his feet as much. So I find it odd. I mean, he'll literally have to put up 4 passing touchdowns against Florida to get back on pace in my eyes for this award. But conversation for a different time. I honestly lean more towards the LSU side. I think what we saw in that USF game was Lagway legitimately looking bad and not healthy, and bad coaching problems. And I don't know if you just turn that around automatically in a game like this. If you shop around for a 7.5, I would definitely prefer that, but not a game I'm all too excited about betting on.